else wants to share good news, so I'm doing it.
So I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you do tub to walk-in shower conversions? Okay. Okay. You got a rough idea? I mean, I know you got to see, but it's a standard tub opening. A walk-in shower. Yeah, sliding open door. I probably should have a threshold just to keep the water splashing.
You know, the person even asked, you just roll.
I don't need to roll this. It's just because I'm obese and I can't get in the tub easy.
Where they walk.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a discount on it if you answer honestly. Big discount. Have you gained weight since March of 2020 or have you lost weight?
Since March.
2020. Since the
I would say lost.
lost weight.
A little bit.
All right, good.
Not much, but
You got a discount there.
well, I don't know.
Because a lot of people have gained here. I know.
I was just too
I know
big.
a couple of dozen myself,
Doing dairy.
including my first cousin. She's gained. And I said, you're going the wrong way for safety's sake.
Well, I
Going
got
the wrong way.
a long way to go the other direction. Because I gained 80 pounds since I came here 6 years ago, and I've lost about 30. But I'm still 50 pounds heavier than when I started. 6 foot, 3/4. Maybe 5'11".
Ideally, it's should be around my age.
Yeah, see, I've never been that light. Even when I was thin, it was like 2 mixed martial arts or
Now I'm going to get off the back of the truck. Truck bed. Now I can sit down and slide off. Where I used to just go. Yeah.
July. Yeah, I'm not very old. 25 since then. Because so many people are moving here.
But how can you have a housing shortage when everybody's dying of COVID? This doesn't make sense.
People are moving here because they keep following Larry Downs on the TikTok and they want to come live on the beaches because you showed them that there was no mask. And you ruined it for us all, Larry. You ruined it for us. It's all your fault, Larry. Remember all those videos you put on TikTok? Yes, you did. Last year you put them on there. Now all these people have come down here and want to live here because you said, hey, look, you can come to our beaches. They're clean.
Next month. He said out of all the states he's choosing Florida. Megan.
You said my name. Did you just say my name? I'm deaf. Don't stop it, Larry. We're not friends.
These are the ones that I raise Malaysian sperms. So they're little 1 pound birds, no less.
Larry, can we talk about
I got about 100.
I follow you on YouTube. Do you follow me on YouTube? So, look. Do you know what roller derby is?
That's what their eggs are compared to regular chicken. It's an orphan egg versus the scrum egg.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I got some Buffalo Beats Americanos. Hard Rocks.
I've just got one.
What are you doing, Larry?
Have eaten eggs.
So I'm staying hydrated. It's very important to me, right?
Where's your mask at, Larry? Where's your mask? Is your constitution in your back?
Like you gotta ask me if you got a shot.
What's my governor? Chief White Bear, what did you say?
See if you got a shot.
Did you get your shot at Chief White Bear?
I'm not doing it.
Because it hit that?
Tell us none of your business.
Because it hit that? Because it hit that.
No, it's not. On your own, you can't violate your own.
I can too. I can do whatever I want.
Well, it's not a violation.
Larry, did you get the shot? Did you go to the CVS or the
I
Walgreens?
got the natural injection. It went straight out of somebody's mouth and went right into me. And then I
Oh,
got,
did Jesus blow it to you?
then I got the immune hose my wife, like close enough.
Oh my God.
And she did get to me. And I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? So I worked out every day. So I know from everybody.
Show me how you work out. Show me your MMA move. Oh my God.
I'm old. I'm old. I wish I was
Hey,
young.
did you buy the ticket to the gun show? Or you heard inside? Oh my God.
probably take care of it, but it'd be tomorrow before we can do it.
Probably should start it happening. No.
I don't know of anybody who's really taking any after hours calls. Try my dad's number.
Yeah, sure.
453-6954.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you.
We've been on 600,000 for Hurricane Sally. The twins. She got that for her.
It should be in 10.
You need a screen. I got it. Just like go in here and have it like. You could like have it on and have it on a shirt like that. Was
I'm okay, how are you?
Still not scared.
Depends on when it is. This Saturday? I gotta check it, make sure they're on the flights. Just September 20th. Like we do have a flight at the base afternoon. Let me check, make sure. I got his number there. Mask is not, it's not a substitute for social distancing. That's CDC. That's the reason why anytime they say mask, they say social distancing. Fear mongering. Fear mongering, I've even heard these people. Excellent. Yeah, so I'm up here for fear mongering. You know, the government has been fear mongering for 18, 19 months now. Yeah. Oh, my name's Larry Allen. Nice to meet you, Megan. Yes. I have. Lived here for 34 years. It gets better. It gets better. Mesh, are you telling you are traveling on a plane, bus, train, or other but it's not a substitute for social distance. Because it's so non it's so non-science. It's so non-science. It's so non-science. So every little cough you will. No. We made Aggie jokes all the time.
Ready? Okay. Good afternoon. This is the Gary Sansing Public Forum for September 2nd, 2021, 5:02 p.m. This public forum is intended for matters not included on the agenda for the upcoming Board of County Commissioners meeting. Citizens wishing to address items on the agenda should sign up to speak to such an item at the regular Board of County Commissioners meeting. Speakers shall refrain from abusive or profane remarks, disruptive outbursts, protests, or other conduct which interferes with the orderly conduct of the Gary Sansing Public Forum. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. First speaker is William Richardson.
My name is William Richardson, and I appear before you today to speak to what my family and I believe to be a gross miscarriage of justice regarding the handling of our 532 petition to vacate from the August 5th meeting last month. As a result, my family and I feel we've been disenfranchised, not being given our right to speak to this issue, an issue that we feel directly impacts our ability to protect our property and home. Instead, after hearing the very first and only voice of opposition, a voice basing its objection on false premise, our petition was immediately moved and subsequently unanimously voted to be dropped. Reason for objection, and I quote Mr. Meddy, "That alleyway connects my two properties together, which for traveling, for moving the cars back and forth," end quote. My family and I would argue, based on county engineer's survey and their stakes in the ground, that this strip of land is not a road, much less a navigable alleyway, allowing for the movement of vehicles. At last count, no less than 30 trees, there's actually more, presently occupy this overgrown strip of land Mr. Meddy would have you believe he's moving vehicles across. He hasn't, not now or ever. The trees testify to this. We find it ironic Meddy would object to the closure of this land, since as it appears to us from the survey stakes and property appraiser's website, that Meddy has completely fenced in, privatized, built, and developed by annexing approximately the last 60 feet of this 20-foot wide tract of land adjacent to his lot. Land that we don't believe he owns, public land, county land. Commissioner May repeatedly gave his word that he'd meet with us the following week. That meeting never happened. Commissioner May specifically named and directed county personnel to contact us and schedule our meeting. We've reached out multiple times, August 6th, 10th, and 23rd, to both Stacy and Audrey named contacts. We're yet to be told if our meeting is even scheduled, or if not, any substantive reason why. As I stand here before you today, speaking truth to power, I have to ask myself why. Because I am bound, both morally and ethically, that it is incumbent upon me as a man and as a husband to serve as defender for my family, to be ready to challenge what might be perceived as threat to them from nonfeasance, travesty, and hypocrisy. Are my family and I to be made now to feel marginalized as well as disenfranchised by severing right to be heard? This all started because I simply wanted to fence in my property. For years, we've been subjected to illegal trespassers and illegal dumping. My job requires that I be away from home for extended periods of time. I want to be able to sleep at night knowing that my home and my wife, who is disabled, are safe. If Commissioner May cannot be held to his word and seemingly refuses to hear us, then I feel I have no other choice but to implore you, the remaining 4 county commissioners, even though I know it's not your district, to intervene on my family's behalf and grant us a fair hearing. I believe this has been a stain on the leadership of District 3, and for it to continue any longer would just be a blemish on the integrity of the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Commissioner May.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And William, go back and get the record. I said before I put this back on the agenda, I will meet with you, and I just talked to my assistant, and we are going to schedule a meeting with you. And there's no need to respond. I'm going to meet with you. Stacy, will you please get with him so I can get the correct information? Audrey, put him on the schedule tonight. Okay, and so what I did do was I was a man of my word. I told you before I put it on the agenda, and it has not been put back on the agenda before I will meet with you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Audrey, put him on the schedule tonight for tomorrow.
Councilwoman Myers. Councilwoman Myers? All right. Michael Marciniak?
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, administration, Commissioner Bergosh, vendor, Ms. Rogers. Especially Ms. Rogers, she should take note on issue 1 that I'd like to address. And it's about the culvert pipe, the galvanized culvert pipe on our property. It's been there for 50 plus years. Now my understanding was it was going to be replaced with FEMA dollars because it was damaged in the storm, Hurricane Sally. Now I've heard as a couple weeks ago it was going to be attempted to be relined. At this time I'd like to make it formal and notice that you ask you to cease and desist any action on our property that seeks to reline the pipe in lieu of replacement and remove and replacement of the pipe, because it is a poisonous pipe and it's going through the galvanic corrosion process, and it's a violation of not only the manufacturer specification or any code to allow that pipe to remain in the ground. And that pipe may very well be responsible for the wrongful death of my father, Edwin Marciniak, who worked on that lake for 32 years, and there's a DEP study that was done in 2002 with the county that shows the lead, the cadmium, the copper, and the zinc in our lake. Now it's been known it's poisonous water in that lake. The process is coming from the galvanic corrosion and the attempting and them continuous relining pipes by not removing the pipes, by not doing a soil side inspection in accordance with manufacturing specifications. It's dangerous and hazardous to our health. We need to cease that action right there, because it's going to make more and more people sick. Or we're going to have people running around like Erin Brockovich, not saying her, but similar to that, with these issues. Now to move on to issue number 2 is Crescent Lake. Now yesterday I had a dump in, reflect back to point 1, the dam, the most poisonous point of the water. Now the most poisonous point of the water is at the spillway in the dam, according to the study, where all the lead and everything else is. To work on the floodgate that the county accepted maintenance on with a previous board and has not done the appropriate maintenance on. It is being deferred, let go, and ignored. We need an entirely new floodgate and liftgate at that spillway, new rod and components to maintain that floodgate. Now that dam and that spillway regulates the flood waters going north of Escambia County, all of your districts, and south, and how the water runs through there. And we need that maintenance on Crescent Lake. Okay, as for the third issue, it's real simple. Mr. Bender handles this, but all you guys do. We're going over that Pensacola Beach broadside bridge, and we're paying $1 for it. But everybody comes through the east end for free. That's not equality at all. How do they get to come in for free down there? They're coming in by the boatloads, and the county's losing money. We need some equality on that. Put up a smart pole down there for less than $2,000. And tag readers. It's real simple. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day.
Larry Downs Jr.
Hello, hello. How y'all doing? Good to see y'all. All right, Larry Downs Jr. I guess you need my address. All right. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to, I've been saving the papers over the past 18 months. I have a stack this high at the house. Nothing but fear-mongering. Nothing but fear-mongering over the COVID. You know, there's a doctor that I follow who's big on vaccines. He just loves pushing COVID narratives that come from the CDC. He said 0.3% of a chance that you will die from COVID. 0.3. Through the whole thing. That means you got a 0.97% chance of making that, right? Or 0.7%. That's a good deal. That's good news. You would think that would be in some of these papers, but instead what we have is a dividing of our population. And I just wanted to make sure that I bring this up to y'all so that y'all don't do anything to try to push people to get vaccines give them incentives, like the city, other states giving $100, $200. Just don't do that. That's not right. Just like Governor Ivey over here in Alabama, right here. She says, calling the vaccines the greatest. Jesus. Let's be crystal clear, she says. This is a quote. Let's be crystal clear about this issue, Ivey said. Media, I want you to start reporting the facts. Now, when's government supposed to start telling the media to report facts? For one, the new cases of COVID are because of the unvaccinated folks. Almost 100% of the new hospitalizations are unvaccinated folks, and the deaths certainly occurring with unvaccinated folks. And she goes on. But think of that. She's blaming unvaccinated folks. There's no science behind that. This goes on and on. I mean, look at this guy here. He's behind his own front door with a mask on. And it's a breakthrough right here. Blindsided by breakthrough COVID. That's him. This is in the register for Alabama over there. USA Today. I mean, this just goes over. Vaccine division. Division, even in hospitals. My son's a nurse. They're trying to force him to get something he don't want. That ain't the land of the free, home of the brave. Here it is. As virus rages, growth pushes to mandate shots. Rages. I mean, it just goes on and on. Ravaged by COVID-19, desperate for vaccine. I mean, can you imagine what this is doing to the psyche of the average American who reads this every day, looks at it on the news, the social media, everywhere? Anything that says anything about freedom is taken down. Schools react, COVID-19 surges. It's just, over and over. These little kids with masks on here. It's a submicroscopic virus. Submicroscopic. There's a reason why the CDC says, put your mask on and social distance, because it doesn't work. Adios.
Thank you, Larry. All right. Councilwoman Myers, just seeing if you're back in the audience. Okay. Board, we'll adjourn until 5:30. Thank you.